Today, we're going to talk about a problem that pretty much every growing business runs into, but they often don't even have a name for it. It's that feeling, the one where working harder somehow doesn't mean you're moving any faster. Let's dive into the bottleneck effect.
Sound familiar? Your team's busy, clients seem happy, money's coming in, but everything just feels slow. Like approvals are taking ages, payments are late, and every single deadline feels like a mad dash to the finish line. It's so frustrating when you can see everyone putting in the work, but the results just aren't adding up.
So, what is this stuck feeling, really? Well, I can tell you it's not just in your head, and it is definitely not a sign that your team isn't working hard enough. This feeling actually has a name, and just understanding what it is, that's the first step to finally fixing it.
And here it is, the bottleneck effect. It's basically any single point in your workflow that just gets completely jammed up. And this is so crucial to get. This is not a people problem, it's a process problem. You have a weak link in your chain, and it's holding literally everything else back.
Okay, this analogy is perfect. Just imagine a 5-lane highway, right? All the cars are zooming along, then boom, one lane closes for construction. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter how fast the other 4 lanes could be going. The entire flow of traffic just grinds to a halt. That is exactly what's happening inside your business. Now, here's the thing about a bottleneck. It's never just one isolated problem. Oh no, its impact spreads out, kind of like a ripple in a pond, and it affects the entire organization. Let's look at how this one little clog can set off a massive chain reaction. It always starts small, right? One task gets delayed. But then other teams are just sitting around waiting for that one thing to get done so they can start their work. So of course, deadlines have to get pushed back. And what happens when you're scrambling to meet a new, tighter deadline? People rush, and rushed work leads to more mistakes, which only creates, you guessed it, even more delays. It's a truly vicious cycle.
So, what's our first instinct when things start to slow down? We try to just power through it, right? Put our heads down and grind. But as we're about to see, that is often the absolute worst thing you can do. What's so great about this slide is how clearly it shows the two paths. Our gut tells us to just work harder, longer hours, more pressure. But look where that leads. More stress, more mistakes, and eventually total burnout for your team. The real solution is to work smarter. And that means fixing the process itself, streamlining how work gets done, and getting a much clearer picture of what's actually going on. And this right here? This is the most important thing to remember. If you take away just one thing, let it be this. Because trying to solve a broken process by throwing more effort at it, well, it's like trying to fill a leaky bucket by just pouring water in faster. It's useless. You've got to fix the leak, the bottleneck, first. Okay, so if working harder is off the table, what's the answer? Let's talk about the smarter solution, how to actually eliminate these bottlenecks by going after the root of the problem in a few really common areas. All right, first up, a classic example, tax preparation. Think about it. You've got a ton of data, super strict deadlines, and incredibly complex rules. It is the perfect storm for creating a massive process bottleneck that can bring your entire financial operation to a crawl. So how do you fix it? Well, one of the most powerful solutions is to bring in outside experts. Outsourcing directly attacks the bottleneck. It cuts down turnaround time, you get specialists who ensure accuracy, and they can handle those crazy peak workloads. And the best part? It frees up your own team to focus on what they're actually good at, growing the business.
Here's another one that I bet hits close to home for a lot of you, accounts payable. All that manual invoice processing, chasing down people for approvals, scheduling payments. It's a process that gets bogged down so easily, and it can seriously mess with your cash flow. And just like with taxes, the solution is all about making the process smoother. By outsourcing AP, you can automate and dramatically speed up invoice processing, simplify how approvals get handled, and make sure your vendors are getting paid on time. The end result? A financial workflow that's just way faster, smoother, and way more transparent.
So, let's say you've done it. You've found those weak spots in your process and you've fixed them. What happens then? What does life actually look like on the other side? Let's check out the payoff.
First and foremost, work just flows. Instead of getting stuck in limbo for days, tasks move smoothly from one person to the next. It creates this constant current of progress. And because of that flow, your team spends a lot less time waiting around for somebody else and a lot more time doing valuable, productive work. When you remove the friction, productivity just naturally goes up.
Think about it.
With less pressure from crazy deadlines and no need to rush all the time, the quality of the work gets better. Fewer errors means less time fixing mistakes, which means things move even faster. And maybe this is the biggest win of all. Your business is now actually built to handle growth. You can take on more clients, more projects, more work, without that constant fear that your systems are just going to collapse under the pressure.
Okay, so let's turn the spotlight on you for a second. After hearing all this, you've got to be wondering if this is happening in your business, right? So what are the red flags? What should you be looking for?
Here are the telltale signs. If your tasks are always late, if you constantly hear people say, oh, I'm just waiting on so-and-so, or if work just seems to pile up in one person's inbox or at one specific step in the process. Yep, you've probably got a bottleneck. And here's the biggest clue of all. When taking on more work doesn't just make you busier, it makes the entire system slower.
The most important thing to leave you with is this. Your business, just like a chain, is only as strong as its weakest link, or in this case, its weakest process. Finding and fixing that one inefficient spot can unlock speed, efficiency, and growth for your entire company. So the only question left is, where's your bottleneck, and what are you going to do about it?